theologically that like we phrase this as like continuationists, which would be this idea that we actually believe the miraculous gifts are
Yeah,
still in use today. You'd be hard pressed not to see that in many other parts of the world on a regular
exactly.
basis. In our context, sometimes it's more rare, and yet we believe that the Lord miraculously heals. But there's this the dissonance, or not the dissonance, the distance would the change would be from the prosperity gospel would be not that if you have enough faith he will, but we believe that he can, and if it's
Totally.
in his goodwill to do that, then great. But you can open up passages like 2 Corinthians 12, where you got the Apostle Paul being like, Jesus speaking over him, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. And
Yeah.
that Paul's like, I'll rejoice in my weaknesses, for when I am weak, then I am strong. And he's been
Yeah.
pleading, like, take away this thorn from my flesh, this difficulty. At the end of 2 Corinthians 11, it's this wild passage where he's like, I was shipwrecked 3 times. I was
That's
like,
right.
I was beaten, like I was stoned once. I was beaten with rods 3 times. I was, hit with lashes like 40 minus 1 times, and that happened to me 5 different times. Like all these crazy stories. And then he goes on to say it's actually in the weaknesses that the
Mm,
Lord is doing a profound thing in me to show me he is my
mm,
sufficiency. And so where it becomes problematic is an expectation that, yeah, he'll always heal, which will help me bypass the sufferings and the hard things. But God is saying biblically, sometimes those are the very places where I'm going to do a deep work in you for the things that
absolutely.
matter most.